Hello everyone, welcome to Stapleford Parish Kids Online. It's good to be with you again. I'm Ruth.
I'm Peter.
And here we are for one of our summer holiday specials. I hope you're all having a good week. It is really nice to have some summer holidays, isn't it? And it's good to see some of you around. We've had the
family-friendly food fortnight,
and it's been lovely to see some of you come and pick up your activity packs, some of you come and help. That has been great. And we've even got some pictures which should appear on the screen pretty soon, showing Edward, Oliver and Alex making and enjoying some of their activities. So thank you for sending those in.
And the yummy food as well, we can see there too. So yeah, thank you to all those who made the food too.
Exactly, yeah, it really has been good. So I wonder if you have done anything fun this week. I wonder if some of you might even be away at the moment, or you've been away, or maybe you've been somewhere nice. Maybe you've been to a park, or you've been swimming. I saw somebody actually who learned to ride a bike this week. So that's exciting, isn't it? It is nice to have the summer holidays.
It certainly is. Well, we're going to go over to our theme now, our special summer theme of Daniel.
It's an adventure of faith. God with us each step of the way. It's an adventure of faith. God will save us, He's the true King. It's an adventure of faith. God with us each step of the way. It's an adventure of faith. God will save us, He's the true King we serve.
So yes, today our story from Daniel is about three friends of Daniel who really need God to save them. And we need to sing a song, I think, to remind ourselves of how great God is at taking care of us in whatever we're going through. So we're going to sing Nothing's Too Big, Big, Big.
Nothing's too big, big, big for His power. Nothing's too little, little for His care. Nothing's too big, big, big for His power. Nothing's too little, little for His care. Nothing's too big, big, big for His power. Nothing's too itsy, wincy for His care. Nothing's too big, big, big for His power. Nothing's too teeny, weeny for His care. He is God of the big, God of the little, God of the stuff, somewhere in the middle, the King of moving mountains, loves you more than you will ever know. Nothing's too big, big, big for His power. Nothing's too little, little for His care. Nothing's too big, big, big for His power. Nothing's too itty, bitty for His care. Nothing's too big, big, big for His power. Nothing's too itsy, wincy for His care. Nothing's too big, big, big for His power. Nothing's too teeny, weeny for His care. He is God of the big, God of the little, God of the stuff, somewhere in the middle, the King of moving mountains, loves you more than you will ever know. It's different here. Nothing's too big, nothing's too small, nothing's too much, He cares for it all. Nothing's too big, nothing's too small, nothing's too much, He cares for it all. He is God of the big, God of the little, God of the stuff, somewhere in the middle, the King of moving mountains, loves you more than you will ever know. Nothing's too big, nothing's too small, nothing's too much, He cares for it all. Nothing's too big, nothing's too small, nothing's too much, He cares for it all.
Whoa, thank you for that song. Hope you all enjoyed that. And now it's over to Peter for our story.
Do you remember Daniel and his 3 friends, Shadrach, Meshach and Abednego? They were in the city of Babylon. It was all new and strange, and everyone worshipped different made-up gods, not like the true God that Daniel and his friends worshipped. King Nebuchadnezzar had chosen Daniel and his friends to serve in his palace. And because Daniel had helped the king understand a difficult dream, he was made the ruler of the city council. And Shadrach, Meshach and Abednego had done well too, and the king was pleased with them. So one time, while Daniel was in the city, out in the countryside where Shadrach, Meshach and Abednego were, there was a great big gold statue, 3 houses high it was enormous. King Nebuchadnezzar had built it so that everyone would come and bow down and worship it. Dear Shadrach, Meshach and Abednego, they couldn't bow down and worship this statue. They would only bow down and worship the true God. So when the trumpets all sounded and everyone was gathered together, everyone bowed down to worship except Shadrach, Meshach and Abednego. Well, they soon got into trouble with the king. Why won't you bow down? O king, they said, we cannot bow down to this statue made of gold. We only worship the true God. The king was completely cross and in a big rage and said, right then, I'm going to throw you into the fiery furnace. And he did. They were thrown in. No one would normally survive in there. It was so hot. But as the king looked in, he didn't see 3 dead bodies. He saw 4 people alive. 4, he said. How come they're walking around the fire and there's a 4th person in there? How did they get in there? Looks like an angel of God. So he shouted out to them, Shadrach, Meshach and Abednego, come out. And King Nebuchadnezzar had soon changed his tone. Oh, praise the God of your people. You risked your lives by refusing to worship any god but your own. And look, the ropes have burned away, but you are unharmed and you don't even smell of smoke. Your God has saved you. From this day on, said the king, no one will speak wrong of your God. If they do, they will be in big trouble. And Shadrach, Meshach and Abednego were promoted to become rulers in their different area. The king was pleased with them once more.
And you may remember from last week we had some special puppet reporters. Can you remember their names?
Oh yes, Stand Upright.
Stand Upright, that's right. And I think there was Hugo first.
And Katie Cumber.
Ah, good names. So in a minute we're going to hear from them again. Okay, but we also are going to try and count how many times they say the names of our friends Shadrach, Meshach and Abednego. And I think sometimes they don't quite get it right. They are quite hard names to say, aren't they?
Can you say those names, Shadrach, Meshach and Abednego?
Do you know what? I had to have them written down because actually I keep getting it all a little bit confused. Shadrach, Meshach, Abednego.
Let's see how well Hugo first does.
Well, hello and welcome to Old News Daily with me, Stand Upright. In the news today, 3 men defy the king but survive the fiery furnace. Let's go straight over to our fiery furnace correspondent, Hugo first. Hugo, what do you have for us?
Well, Stan, what I can tell you is this. I'm in Babylon, just outside the fiery furnace, and King Nebuchadnezzar, he set up a gold image, and he said that when the music plays, everyone has got to worship the gold image. But 3 men, and I'll need to check my notes for this because their names are quite tricky, 3 men called Shadrach, Meshach and Abednego, they did not bow down to the gold image. Well, the king was furious with rage. he summoned Rucksack, Beeswax and Does Wendy and said, if you'll bow down, good, but if not, it's the fiery furnace for you.
And what was the response from the three men?
Welsh Dan, gas tap, sheep truck and to bed we go, said, if we're thrown into the fire, it doesn't really matter, 'cause God is able to save us. And even if he doesn't save us, we're not going to bow down to any gold image.
And how did the king take this?
Well, the king was still furious with rib jack, hip flask and a bed dillo. So what he did was he made the furnace even hotter than normal. Some soldiers took the three men to the furnace, and the fire was so hot it killed the soldiers that threw in Haystack, Cheese Pack and a Trendy Bloke. Well, what happened next is rather strange, because as they looked into the fiery furnace, it looked like there were 4 people in there, and Nebuchadnezzar said one of them looked like a son of the gods. So he shouted, Mudpack, Beeshack, and a Ready Glow, come out! And they did, and when they came out they looked absolutely fine. So from then on, King Nebuchadnezzar said everyone should worship the same God as iMac, Payback and a Bready Dough.
Well, thank you for that. We may need a few corrections later in the text, but apart from that, a very good report. Thank you, and what we'll do is we'll see you next time on Old News Daily. Goodbye.
Oh, so I wonder if you did some counting there. It'd be interesting to hear how many times you thought Hugo first got those names not quite right. Now, it's going to be over to Angela for our craft.
Hello, welcome back to the craft section. Today we're doing crafts that focus around fire because of the fiery furnace. We're going to start off with a fiery biscuit. I've got a plain biscuit here and I've just covered it with runny white icing. I've now got some different colour icings, supposedly fire colours. So there's a bit of reddy colour, a little bit of orange, and some yellow. And then I'm going to use a cocktail stick to draw through the colour. Hopefully make some flame shapes. Finally, I'm going to put a little bit of chocolate flake at the bottom to be like the wood that's burning. And a cut there. I'm now going to make a painty, fiery picture like this one. For this, I've got some quite runny paint in colours that you might think about again for fire. So I've got a bit of yellow. Just going to put a little blobs of the paint on the paper. There's some red, some orange, and then you need a straw and a lot of puff, and we're going to blow the paint. See how far you can get it, see if you can get it to the other side of the paper. When you've covered the paper and it's dried, you can cut out some men from black paper so they're like silhouettes, and you can stick them on top for the Meshach, Shadrach and Abednego, and finally the angel in the fire. Now we have one more fiery craft, but for this you need something clear. So for this one I used the covering from a magazine. Your parents might have magazines that come in plastic covers. Well, this is a plastic wallet that we didn't want anymore. Now with some glue, going to stick on some tissue paper flames. So want your fiery colours again, so your yellow, orange, red, and you can have them overlapping. Run out of glue there, put that one there. And again cover it all the way across, and then when it's covered, have some more of your silhouetted men to stick on as well. Then hopefully it's something that you can pin up on a window and the light will shine through to look like the men walking through the fire. Have fun with your fiery crafts and we'll see you next week. Bye bye.
Well, that's just about it now. Thank you so much to Angela and to Al and everybody who's helped with today's online. And we're going to say a prayer in a moment and wish you well over the next week or so.
Yes. So what would you think the main thing we want people to remember from today is, Peter?
Well, that God is powerful, that everything we might be frightened of, or big people who might tell us to do things, and sometimes we do need to do things, but if we feel a bit like worried that we're not following God and people are telling us to do different things, then we know we can pray to God. He will save us and help us to have that peace and to be strong and to stay happy.
That is good. So, do you want to say a prayer now?
Dear God, thank you for the story of Shadrach, Meshach and Abednego. You saved them out of the fiery furnace. Please come and save us when we feel sad and things are difficult. Thank you, Jesus, you are always with us. Thank you that we can pray to you and you are our big, strong God. Amen. Whoop.
Amen. Fantastic. We hope you have a great week. Have some fun doing some of those crafts. Have some fun, hopefully, outside in the nice weather, doing all sorts of different things. And we'll see you very soon. Bye.
Bye.